Hey guys, it's Kalil from Team Shift here, and today we're going to be showcasing some Tri-brigade Spright combos, as said in the title. The reason being is because this was quite heavily requested when I mentioned about the Sprind Gigantic Spright combo that you can end on with this deck. I'll be showcasing that combo and a few others that I think are necessary and that are relevant to your game. But without further ado, let's go on with the combo video. So the first combo is going to be the one card starter combo. It's your bread and butter, and you're going to start off with starter, grabbing your blue. And then once you grab your blue, you're going to use Blue's effect to grab the next card, which will be Jet. And then once you have Jet in your hand, you're then going to use Jet's effect. Well, it's inherent summon anyway, but special summon it on the board, and then use Jet's effect to grab a card of your choice. Personally, in this situation, I'm going to grab Smash just to show the maximum amount of interruptions that you can have. But in other cases, you can add Starter as well. So from here, we're going to send Blue and Jet away, and then we're going to link these two away for our our Spright Sprind. And then we're going to use Sprind's effect to send Angler, and then Angler's effect is going to trigger to special summon 2 Beavers from our deck. And this combo is just really nice in general because it is just a one card combo that goes fully nuts and ends with really nice advantage too. So from here we're going to go Beaver and our Sprind into our Gigantic Spright. And then we are going to use our Gigantic Spright's effect to detach the Beaver and special summon out our Tri-brigade Kitt. From here we're going to link away both the Gigantic Spright and the Beaver now for the IP. But in this I realised that I didn't have IP in there at the beginning, so I had to grab it from my other deck box because I currently was using it in a different deck. But once the IP is summoned out and we're all good to go, we'll use Kitt's effect now to banish 2 from our graveyard. Because we've used the Nimble Beavers, they are 2 beasts that we can banish for Tri-brigade Kitt's effect, and they can be used for revolt as well. So what we'll special summon here is actually our Ferrigi, and it's because normally I would summon Bear here, but I just want to show how wide you can go with this combo if you really want to. So from here we're going to put the Ferrigi and the Kitt away into the Bear, and this will trigger both the Ferrigi and the Kitt. And how I like to do is I like to go Ferrigi Chainlink 1 and Kitt Chainlink 2, and the reason being is just because then I guarantee that I send the Nerval first and then don't have a higher chance of not drawing a Nerval when I've sent with Kitt first. So yeah, that's the whole logic towards it, to be honest. But once that is completely sent, we will then draw our mystery card and then put one back. Yeah, I put the impermanence back just in this case. The double Ash impermanence and the ruler are just the other cards in our hand in this situation. But then we're going to use Nerval's effect now to trigger to add our Kerass to our hand. It has to be Kerass as opposed to Kitt because we've already used Kitt's effect to special summon, so we have to get a different name, and in this case, Kerass is the one. We have a normal summon, so we're just going to normal summon Kerass now, and then use Kerass's effect straight away to banish 2 beasts from our graveyard to special summon out our ancient double Dragon Lords. We'll just call them DDR as we normally call them. But we'll then link away the Kerass and the Bear now for the Pit Knight. And then that will now let our Bear trigger from our graveyard, and we'll use Bear's effect to add our Revolt and put a card back from our hand. So this is the strongest combo you can do essentially as well, ironically, even though it's just a one card combo. And it ends you with the Smashers, Revolt, IP, Pin Knight, DDL, so a lot of interruption there. The next combo is the Kitt and Blue combo. You'll start with normal summoning the Kitt, and then you will special summon out the Blue. And then you're going to use Blue's effect to grab the red. And this combo is really good because it plays around hand traps like Nibiru and Ash Blossom in 2 different ways, and you're going to see how in a moment. Kitt and Blue are 2 really powerful cards that combine together. So next you're going to special summon your red out, and then you're going to use your Blue and Kitt and link them away for your Sprind. And what's really good about linking these 2 away specifically is that Kitt and Sprind together can completely block out Ash Blossom, and it can force Angler to resolve, as you'll see in a moment. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to go Chainlink 1 Sprind, then you're going to go Chainlink 2 Kitt. And what you're going to send with the Sprind is of course the Angler, and with the Kitt you will send the Nerval. I'm just doing them in the other order, of course. And then in a new chain, you'll get Angler Chainlink 1 and Nerval Chainlink 2, completely blocking out the Angler from Ash Blossom and forcing it to resolve. So you're going to add your kit, and then you're going to special summon out both of your beavers. And I'm actually doing the combo at the other side this time, I believe, just to show you what you can do with the deck at the other side, because both the different extra monster zone require you to put the monsters in different positions, and I just want to show you what you can do and what you can't do. So once we've summoned both the beavers, we're going to do what we did before, Sprind and Beaver into the gigantic Spright, and then we're going to detach the Beaver to special summon out our kit. And once again, when we have done shuffling our deck, we're again then going to link away both the gigantic Spright and the Beaver away for our IP once again. And then once we're done, we're going to then trigger our kit's effect, banishing both of those beavers yet again to special summon out this time our bear. And bears this time is a little bit different to Fergie, as we're not going as wide. So we're just going to straight away link these two away for our Pit Knight. And then we've already used Kit's effect, so we can only trigger our bear in this case. And then bear will trigger, of course, to add our revolt to our hand. And what I really like about this combo as well, aside from the fact that it does play through multiple hand traps, is that you've also got red right next to your Pit Knight. So if you did want to optionally, you could use red's effect to trip the IP and then trigger the Pit Knight as well. It's a really small thing that doesn't come up most of the time, but it's the exact reason why I've positioned the red there. And you have follow up with your kit and your revolt banish on top of that too. The next combo is another Kitt Blue combo, but this time it's going to be the gigantic Spright plus Sprind combo. And we're going to start with normal summoning our kit. And then, of course, just like before, we're going to special summon our blue. We're going to use blue's effect now. And instead of adding the red like last time, we're actually going to add the jet. And the reason being is because just like the last combo, we could have also added the jet. But we want to go a little wider on this one just to show you exactly how much we can end on with this board with like the maximum value, maximum interruptions. So we're going to special summon the jet now, and we're going to use jet's effect to add either a star or smashes. In this case, again, for this combo, we're just going to add the smashes, just because it is maximum interruption, and it does the most damage to our opponent. From here, we are actually going to link away both the blue and the jet, instead of the blue and the kit from last time, and we're going to put those into the Sprind instead. You'll see why in a moment why we decided to do it that way. Technically speaking, we could have gone for the blue and the kit here into the Sprind instead. It actually didn't matter which way we did it. We just did it that way just because we were just showing what we can do. Either way is fine, but blue and kit was probably better in that case. But we're going to use Sprint's effect to send the Angler, and then of course we're going to use Angler's effects to special summon both of the beavers. And then from this point onwards, we're going to actually link away both the kit and the beaver for the Fergie. This is why I was saying you could have done it at any point with the kit, because you can technically just get rid of the kit whenever, and then link it away for the Fergie, link it away for the Sprind, or whichever point. But then you're then going to use Kit's effect to add, send the Nerval from the deck, and then you're going to use Nerval's effect to add the second kit from your deck to your hand. From here, you're going to use Ferrie's effect to special summon the kit out, taking advantage out of that effect. And then we're going to use Kit's effect now, banishing both the beasts from the graveyard, the Nerval and the other kit, or maybe it's the Nerval and the Beaver. And then we can special summon out our DDL, our double Dragon Lords. From here, we're actually going to do something quite interesting. We're going to link away both the kit and the Fergie for our bear. And then we're going to trigger our Ferrie's effect to get a free putback and fix our hand. In this case, we'll put back the impermanence. And then from here, we're actually going to overlay both the Nimble Beaver and the Bear for our gigantic Spright. And we'll put it in defense because it's got the same attack as defense once we do what we're about to do. But from this point onwards, it's actually, again, quite an interesting concept. We're going to detach the bear from the gigantic, and then we are going to special summon out our carrot. Now, a really cool thing about Bear and Kitt is that when they detach from XYZ, they actually trigger. So Bear will actually trigger to add our revolt, and it also skips the Tri-brigade restriction with Bear, where it forces you to only special summon Tri-brigades for the rest of the turn. So you manage to get Carrot out just before that goes into effect, and you end with revolt, smashes, Carrot, a bounce of Sprind, and DDL as a bounce as well. This combo will be the one card version of this, of Make a Gigantic Spright and Sprind. And we're going to start with starter, getting out our blue. We're going to use blue to then now grab our jet. We're then going to special out our jet, and then we'll use jet's effect. Jet will grab the smashes. You could go for starter if you wanted to as follow-up, but I like to go for smashes most of the time nowadays. We're then going to link away both the blue and the jet, and we're going to get out our Sprind. We're going to use Sprind's effect, and instead of sending the Angler like we normally do, this time we're going to send the Kitt. And we're going to use Kitt's effect, and we'll send the Nerval, and then we're going to use the Nerval's effect, and this will grab another version of Kitt. And one thing you might have noticed actually is just like before with the one card combo, we haven't actually normal summoned. So this time we're actually going to normal summon earlier this time, and normal summon out that Kitt, and then we're going to use Kitt's effect, banishing that Nerval and Kitt from the graveyard, and we're going to get out our bear. From here, we're going to overlay both the Kitt and the bear, and we'll overlay both of these for the gigantic Spright. Put that in defense mode too. And then we're going to use gigantic Spright's effect, detaching the bear. And you can get out red or carrot here if you want to. Personally, I just like to get out carrot just to have an extra layer of interruption, as opposed to red right now. Just because I don't like things like tactics, I like having the option to get rid of them. But yeah, we'll special summon out the carrot. And then because bear was detached, bear will then trigger. We'll grab that bear and we'll put back the imp. And so one thing you might have realized is that we only have a couple of beasts in the graveyard, but we can actually use smashes to send the gigantic Spright, and that will trigger the Kitt from underneath and then get the 4 beasts in the graveyard if we have to. So that's why we got the smashes as well. The first OTK line is the one card Spright starter OTK line, and it will start with starter, of course, as you know, and this will grab our blue. Blue's effect will trigger, and it'll grab our jet. We'll then use jet's effect, and we'll grab the smashes. Again, this could be a starter as follow-up if you wanted it to, because it depends on how the format is going. We're then going to link away both the blue and the jet, and we're going to link those into Sprind. Sprind will then trigger, and it'll send our Angler. And then Angler will trigger. And this is supposed to summon out both the Beavers. From here, we'll straight away XYZ both the Sprind and the Beaver into our gigantic Spright. We're then going to use gigantic Spright's effect, detaching the Beaver, and we're going to special summon out our Kitt. So from here it's a little bit different because you're trying to OTK your opponent. You'll actually, instead of going for the IP, you'll put the Kitt and the Beaver away into a Ferrigite. This will then let Kitt trigger, and Kitt will send the trusty Nerval to the graveyard, and then Nerval will activate, and then you can grab another version of Kitt. I like to hold the Kerass if possible, just because why not? It's another name. We're then going to use Ferrigite's effect to special summon out the Kitt, and we're going to use Kitt's effect, banishing 2 from our graveyard. And we can special summon out Bear or double Dragon Lords here. I special summon out double Dragon Lords, just showing that if they do have like one card on the field, you can bounce it away. Like a monster on the field that's blocking your way, you can bounce it by sending a card from your hand. You're then going to overlay Ferrigite and the Kitt into another gigantic Spright. And right there on the board, that is exactly 8k. It's exact 8k, and you can even bounce the card back, which is really, really nice. The next OTK line is the Kitt plus blue one. Again, these two are really powerful together. So we'll start with normal summoning Kitt and then special summoning our blue. Blue is actually going to grab our red, and I grab red in this case just to show that you can play through hand traps or interruption on the board, depending on what's at hand at the time. I special summon red in defense, but it should have been in attack, and I do change this later. We're then going to link away both the blue and the Kitt, and blue and Kitt will put us into our trusty Sprind. We're then going to use Sprind as Chainlink 1 and Kitt as Chainlink 2, again blocking away Ash Blossom, and we've got red for protection anyway, but red can be used as like a Nim Negator too. We'll send both the Angler and the Nerval, and then in a new chain we'll do Angler Chainlink 1 and Nerval Chainlink 2. Angler will special summon out both the Beavers, and Nerval will add our Kitt. Then from here we're actually going to go put the two Beavers away, link them away for our Ferrigite. From here we'll then use Ferrigite's effect and we'll special summon out the Kitt. And then we're going to use Kitt's effect, banishing 4 beasts from our graveyard, 2 Beavers and a Kitt and a Nerval. And then we're going to special summon out Shuraig. And what I really like about this OTK line too is that it has points in the combo where you can use removal. Like Shuraig can banish any card in the field if it's in the way of trying to kill them. And then it's the same with later in the combo too if you want to. So from here we're going to overlay both the Kitt and the Ferrigite into our Gigantic Spright. And then we're going to use Gigantic Spright's effect. And we could special summon out a few things here. In this situation, I decided to special out the Jet. Just because we haven't used Jet's effect yet, and we wanted to grab something just in case. But this is well over 8k at this point. You've got 3-2 on the Gigantic, 3,000 on the Shuraig, 1,400 on the Sprind, 1,300 on the Jet, and 1,200 on the Red when I decide to put it to attack mode. And on top of that, if somehow you can't kill them, maybe they've got like a Battle Fader in their hand, you've got Smashes and Gigantic Spright, not Gigantic Spright, sorry, you've got Smashes, Gigantic Spright, and Sprind as a form of interruption on the board. The next combo we'll be showing you is the Kerass and Kitt line. We'll start with Kerass discarding Kitt and special summon out the Kerass. We'll then use Kitt's effect and we'll send the Nerval from the deck to the graveyard. And then we're going to use Nerval's effect and we'll add a second copy of Kitt. From here we're going to use Kerass' effect and we'll banish that Nerval and Kitt from the graveyard. And then we're going to special summon out our Ferrigite. We play 2 copies in our deck personally, so that's why we're using Ferrigite specifically, because it's an easy way to get rid of one. But then we're going to use Ferrigite's actual effect to special summon out the Kitt. We could have done this later if we wanted to, or we could have normal summoned the Kitt, but we just used it because why not? We're then going to link away both the Ferrigite and the Kitt, or Kerass, sorry, and we're going to put that into the Sprind. We're then going to use Sprind's effect, and then we're going to use Ferrigite's effect to Chainlink 2. And we're going to draw a card, and then we're going to put back a card, so fixing our hand essentially. And in the same chain, we're going to send our Angler. We're then going to use Angler's effect and special summon out those 2 Beavers. And then from here, we're going to put both the Beavers away and link them off into our second Ferrigite. We're then going to use Kitt's effect. And we could banish 2 or 4 here, technically, if we wanted to, in this kill line, but we're going to actually banish 4 and get out the Shuraig. And again, it's a pretty cool line here because you can also use it as spot removal if you wanted to with Shuraig. We're then going to overlay both the Ferrigite and the Kitt into that Gigantic Spright, and then we're going to use Gigantic Spright's effect, detach in the Kitt, and we're going to special summon out our blue, because we haven't actually used the Spright line at all at this point, which is why this line is, even though it doesn't come up often, is quite interesting. We're then going to use blue's effect and grab the Jet, and then we're going to special summon Jet and use Jet's effect, and we can grab Star or Smashes. In this case, I grab the Starter, just because you can use Starter if you wanted to get out a red or a carrot to do as much damage as possible. But I'm just going to show it from this point where you just go for the Mannequin Cat by overlaying both the Jet and the blue. So again, you've got way over 8k on board here. You've been able to banish a card too, which is cool. And if you wanted to, you could use starter to special summon a red or a carrot just to have extra protection slash damage on board. The first interesting line is the Kerass Nerval combo. It does not happen often, but it's just something that can happen. So you start with special summoning Kerass by ditching the Nerval, and then you're going to use Nerval's effect, and you will add the Kitt from your deck to your hand. From here, you're just going to normal summon the Kitt because you haven't actually special summoned yet. I mean, normal summon, sorry. And then you're going to link away both the Kerass and the Kitt for Sprind. I'm sure you can see where this is going. You're going to then use Sprint effect to send the Angler. And then you're going to use Angler's effect to special summon both those Beavers. From here, you're then going to overlay both the Beaver and the Sprind for the Gigantic Spright. And then from here, you're then going to use Gigantic Spright's effect, detaching the Beaver, special summon out another copy of Kitt. So you do go through quite a few copies of Kitt in this version, but it's just if you open this really wonky, weird hand. You're then going to link away both this Gigantic Spright and the Beaver for the IP. And then again, I'm sure you know where we're going from here. From here, we'll then use Kitt's effect, banishing both of those Beavers. Or you can use banish from the Tri-brigade cards, it's up to you. You've got both the options. And then you're going to special summon out the bear from your extra deck. From here, you're going to link away both the Beaver and the Kitt. And you'll special summon out the Pit Knight. And then bear will now trigger to add the revolt and then put back one card from your hand. The next line is the Fenrir plus Angler line. I just want to show this line just to show that you can actually do it with just Fenrir plus any level 2. So we're going to start by special summoning Fenrir, and then we're going to use Fenrir's effect straight away, and we're going to add a second copy of Fenrir. It's really good at just putting back for bear as well, and or fairy sheet if you want to. We're then going to normal summon the Angler, just because we can, and then we're going to link away both the Fenrir and the Angler for our Sprind. From here, I'm sure you know, we're going to use Sprint's effect to send the Angler from our deck to our hand, and then we're going to use Angler's effect to special summon our 2 Beavers from our deck. From here, we're then going to overlay both the Beaver and the Sprind for our Gigantic Spright. And then we're going to use Gigantic Spright's effect to special summon our Tri-brigade Kitt from our deck. From here, we're going to link away both the Gigantic Spright and the Beaver away for the IP. If we can find it. And then from here, we're going to use Kitt's effect, banishing both of the Beavers to special summon our bear from our extra deck. And then from here, we're going to link away both the bear and the Kitt for our Pit Knight. And then in the theoretical situation that your opponent had Ash Blossom, you can chain block it. So you can go chain link 1 bear, chain link 2 Kitt, send the Nerval, and then add the revolts, put something back. In this case, put back an impermanence, but you could put back the Fenrir if you wanted to. And then in a new chain, Nerval will then trigger. And then you can add your follow-up, which will be your second Kitt. And so the advantage you have here is have a whole bunch of follow-up on top of the fact that you have the revolt and the setup on board. So really nice in that regard with just Fenrir and Angler. The last line is the Beaver plus Kitt line. You could normally do standard combo with just this line, but I wanted to show a different line you can do at the end. So you're going to start with Beaver, and then you're going to use Beaver's effect to special summon another Beaver from the deck. We're then going to straight away link these two away for our Fenrir, which is a little bit different from what we normally do, and so early we do it. We're then going to use Fenrir's effect to special summon the Kitt. We're then going to use Kitt's effect, banishing both the Beavers, and we're going to special summon out our bear. From here, we're going to link away both the Kitt and the Fenrir, and we're going to link these into the Sprind. Now, I know that we've already used both the beavers, but it's still important in this situation because we want to both trigger the Kitt and the Fenrir, and on top of this we want to get a Sprind out, and this is really the only way to do so. So in this chain we're going to go chain link 1 Sprind, chain link 2 Fenrir, and then chain link 3 Kitt, and then we're going to send the Nerval, draw a card, put one back, which is what we're doing now, and then we're going to send the Angler once this has resolved. In a brand new chain, we're going to go chain link 1 Angler and chain link 2 Nerval. This will completely block out the Angler from being Ash Blossom like we have mentioned before. So we'll special spin out both the beavers, and then with the Nerval effect we'll get to add 1 Tri-brigade to our hand, and we'll be adding another copy of Kitt. Oh sorry, in this situation only 1 beaver. But then we'll overlay both the bear and the beaver for the gigantic Spright in defense position, because they're the same attack as defense, you'll see in a moment. And then we'll use gigantic Spright's effect, detaching the bear. And we can special summon out the Kerass or a Red if we wanted to. But in this situation, we want to play a little bit greedy and just kind of show what we can do. So I'm going to go for the Jet, and then in the new chain, we're going to go chain link 1 bear, and then chain link 2 Jet. And this blocks out the bear. I did point them the other way around, but it's supposed to be chain link 1 bear, chain link 2 Jet, because then you can add the Revolt, and then you can also add a Starter if you want to as well, or a Smashers. But this is just another interesting option that you can do with like Beaver plus Kitt, and I thought it was just like a pretty cool line, even though you can normally do standard combo anyway. Well, that about wraps up the Tri-brigade Spright combo video. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Please like our sponsors as well, Zombie Game Cafe. And if you want to get a discount from their store, you can use Shift 5 with that discount code. Thank you, and bye.